This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, the Piscataquis County Sheriff's Office is investigating the discovery of a body in Parkman.
They were called Sunday after someone reportedly found a person's body. The Sheriff's Office says they're still trying to determine exactly how the person died.
In other news tonight, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating an incident that injured an East Millinocket police officer. Last night, officers responded to the scene of a service call. An officer that was on their way reportedly lost control and hydroplaned. The cruiser rolled over. The officer inside was transported to a local hospital for minor injuries and was released.
Two separate animal shootings are under investigation by Maine game wardens. The Warden Service is asking the public for information regarding an illegally killed moose. The carcass was found in northern Aroostook County. Officials believe the moose was killed in late September. It was found covered in brush in an attempt to hide it. They are also investigating an injured bald eagle that was found in Mattawamkeag. It was not able to fly, and an X-ray revealed the eagle had shotgun pellets in its body. Maine Operation Game Thief is offering rewards of $4,500 for information regarding the eagle and $3,000 for the moose. Those with information should call 1-800-ALERT-US.
A water main break caused some headaches at Bangor's YMCA, cutting off its water completely this morning. Despite the water main break, the fitness center and weight room did remain open. However, members were not allowed to access the locker rooms or restrooms. In addition, the early childhood and on-site after-school programs, group fitness classes, and pools were all closed for the day. However, the limitations did not discourage some members from working up a sweat.
The workouts is great as always. You just can't use the water, and bathrooms aren't functioning right now, so you have to plan ahead and not use those services when you're here.
Bangor YMCA plans to have the issue fixed by the end of the day.
Well, a resident on Chamberlain Street in Brewer is displaying controversial political signs that many residents say they are not fans of. Our Matthew Juroncic has more, and a warning to parents: the images in this story may be inappropriate for young viewers.
Sadness for one thing, sadness for my country, sadness that the neighborhood has to deal with it, sadness that children aren't protected from that kind of just vile, uncivil behavior.
Members of Chamberlain Street and the community are at their wits' end with the political banners they go by every day.
I wonder why they put so many around, and I can't wait for them to take them away.
Beside 113 Chamberlain Street are explicit signs about the president, Trump 2024 and Let's Go Brandon signs, and even one with President Biden's face inside the iconic Looney Tunes ending.
There are also signs that are obscene, which I find very offensive, and knowing that there are children in the area, I do believe that's an embarrassment to the neighborhood.
While some of the neighborhood wants the residents to take down the signs, others like Norman Gardner don't mind it.
It doesn't bother me, but I don't understand why. Like a F word or whatever the sign on it, people will drive by, they don't get it, why is that? But I respect the people's property.
However, other residents say it's the way the message is portrayed that makes them the most upset.
I just think it's kind of too bad to do it in such a vulgar, nasty way.
It takes my breath away. It's kind of like, wow, I can't believe somebody's done this and got away with it.
We reached out to the City of Brewer's Code Enforcement Office to see if those types of signs are allowed on private property, but we did not hear anything back. Matthew Juroncic, ABC 7 and Fox 22.
The University of Maine kicked off its Veterans Week events today. The week-long celebration commenced with a flag-raising ceremony to honor local veterans. That was followed by a student-veteran barbecue on campus. The events are organized by the Office of Veterans Education and Transition Services to honor the university's student-veteran population.
I think it's probably the highlight of our Veterans Week, where people get to come by, eat some food, and say thank you.
Today we raise the flag, we come together, but it's really it's an object lesson that we need to pay attention, we need to be aware, and we need to be engaged.
You can visit UMaine's website to learn more about Veterans Week events.
Well, sadly, gas prices in Maine jumped another 7 cents a gallon last week. According to Gas Buddy's survey of more than 1,200 stations around the state, the average price is now $3.92 a gallon. That's 34 cents a gallon more than a month ago and almost 52 cents a gallon higher than a year ago. Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, Patrick DeHaan, says the national diesel supply remains tight, but supplies of diesel did see a slight rise last week. He says the majority of stations, especially away from the East Coast, should have very few issues with diesel supply.
So not the best news, especially as we inch closer and closer to the holiday season.
Folks are going to be getting on the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people planning those trips right now. But in the meantime, we've been experiencing some just gorgeous weather out there.
Yeah, the gas prices might not be great, but hopefully the travel weather is going to hold up more according to what we're seeing right now, at least.
Absolutely.
All righty, and with a little bit more on that, let's hit pause here and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, Beth and Peter, thank you. Happy Monday. Your first weather is brought to you by Kings Mountain RC. And okay, so today, let's talk about this. 73 here in Bangor today, 70 Bar Harbor, 69 Millinocket. A gorgeous day, but now, that was then, this is now. Colder temperatures are flooding in as we speak as a cold front has gone through. The wind has shifted out of the west, and we are in for much cooler temperatures now. There could be a couple sprinkles out there tonight. Most of us will stay dry. Overall, though, this is much cooler air flooding in. That's going to hold temperatures tomorrow in the 50s and 60s. For tonight, though, looking at mostly clear skies, some partly cloudy skies, with low temperatures hanging out near 40. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth and Peter.
So certainly looking a bit more seasonable tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And we'll check in with Jeff in a little bit. But still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll take a look at the two candidates running for state senator to represent the cities of Bangor and the town of Hermit.
And with Election Day less than 24 hours away, we speak with the Secretary of State to learn more about ranked choice voting and what it means for the election process. We'll have those stories and much more when ABC 7 News at 6 comes right back.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents. $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class. All because 83% of the time, Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Jared Golden took money from an anti-lobstering group.
You know, the other day we're hauling and everybody was saying, so why did Jared Golden take this money?
Because he's a politician, and that's what politicians do.
He's funded by the very people that could put an end to our entire industry.
Shutting the lobster industry down would be devastating for the people of Maine.
If you cared about Maine and you were for the fishermen, you would have immediately give that money back. It was literally like a big kick in the nuts.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
Janet Mills? 4 years ago, we filmed an ad here supporting her. But Janet has been a disaster for the state of Maine. She's driving up inflation, and her decisions have permanently harmed small businesses and our economy.
And she's bad for seniors and Maine families. Mills raised our electric bill, and she's pushing up home heating costs.
We need Paul LePage now.
We've got to vote for Paul LePage.
I've got plans. We've all got them. But Bruce Poliquin's plans would put Social Security benefits at risk. He planned to raise the retirement age and cap retirees' cost of living increases. He even opposed allowing Medicare to negotiate cheaper drug prices. But Jared Golden didn't just plan. He passed legislation to cap seniors' drug costs and let Medicare negotiate drug prices. Jared Golden is the man with the right plan.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. There are two candidates running for state senator to represent the city of Bangor and the town of Herman. Incumbent Joe Baldacci and newcomer Suzette Furrow are running for the District 9 Senate seat for Bangor and Herman. Each candidate has certain areas they'd like to focus on should voters elect them to the Maine State Senate.
But we have to do more on a number of different fronts: healthcare, prescription drugs, seniors, housing. So there's a lot we can do, but there's a lot we have accomplished.
I think we need to remove a lot of regulation on the small businesses to help them because they were severely hurt during the pandemic, and support the local businesses rather than the corporations.
Voters will get the chance to weigh in on that Senate race and many other key decisions when polls open tomorrow for in-person voting.
And with Election Day less than 24 hours away, we spoke to the Secretary of State in Maine to learn more about ranked choice voting. Some considered it a controversial election practice. Our AJ Douglas also took to the streets to see what Mainers had to say.
Back in 2016, voters approved ranked choice voting for elections through a citizen-initiated referendum. The political practice only applies to primary, federal, and congressional races, but is not being used in traditional pick-one elections, such as governor, county, or state legislature elections.
With ranked choice voting, you get to choose not only your first choice, but your second choice as well, like your backup choice. And there's no wrong way to pick your favorite and potentially your second favorite candidate on the ranked choice voting ballot.
Ranked choice voting tabulation begins in the event that no candidate receives 50% or more of the voting majority.
First and second place candidates retain their original first choice votes. They don't lose any votes. Those ballots are then reallocated to the two remaining candidates based on voter preference. And with that, someone will receive a clear majority of 50% or more.
A few shared their thoughts on if it's a fair practice for elections throughout the state.
Oh, I certainly do.
I think ranked choice voting makes a lot of sense. It allows for nuance and it allows for you to have your choice, your voice and your choices heard more effectively.
I'm mixed on that. There are times when I think it is, and I know other parts of the country are looking at it. There are other times I feel like we should just use the straight numbers.
For tomorrow's election, ranked choice voting will only be applied if there isn't a 50% or more majority in the Paula Quinn Golden race. Back in 2018, Congressman Jared Golden was elected through this political practice. In Bangor, AJ Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
And still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll check in with nationally known cabin builders located right here in Maine.
And in sports, Husson men's soccer prepares for their first NCAA tournament since 2014. We'll have that story right after the break.
In Maine, our independence, hard work, and freedoms mean everything, but not to Paul LePage. He's repeatedly attacked women's reproductive freedom. LePage supported letting states ban abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest, defunded family planning programs, and told extremists we shouldn't have abortion. He's a risk to our health and freedom, and it's why we can't go back to Paul LePage. The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Senator Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective. Joe Baldacci delivered by helping to pass more than $1 billion in direct tax relief for more than 95% of Maine taxpayers. Joe Baldacci delivered by passing laws to support Maine's small businesses across the board that provided tens of millions in direct relief, helping to protect and save thousands of jobs. Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective, delivering results for Bangor and Herman.
Inflation, a broken supply chain, and high gas prices. Mainers everywhere are facing tough decisions about rising costs. Growing up as part of a small family business in Leeds, I learned what a struggling economy does to small businesses, jobs, and to working class people. And serving as a Marine in Afghanistan and Iraq taught me to stand strong for what's right in the face of adversity. I'm Jared Golden, and that's why in Congress, I'm an independent voice for you, taking on my own party to stand up for Maine families. I was the only Democrat to vote against trillions of dollars of President Biden's agenda because I knew it would make inflation worse. I helped pass new laws to rebuild our nation's infrastructure and begin to repair our broken supply chain. And I'm fighting Biden's failed energy policy, forcing him to drill more American oil to lower gas prices. I'll always be an independent fighter for you. I'm Jared Golden, and this is my family. I approve this message because when it comes to doing what's right for your family, I'll never back down.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin, he went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here, for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Securitas Security Services. Securitas Security Services is hiring in coastal and central Maine. If interested, please call 207-990-1776.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. It was a big weekend in soccer up here. At the high school level, state champs crowned in all classes across the state. And at the college level, the Husson men's soccer team punched a ticket to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. The Eagles, who rode a perfect conference record into the postseason, captured a NAC East championship 2 weekends ago and then took a 1-0 overtime victory against SUNY Delhi to take home the conference championship this past weekend, their first one in 8 years. And they say with all the hard work the team has put in both this year and last, that win meant a lot.
The group of guys I have behind me, I mean, everyone on this team has contributed. The time, the effort that we put in every training session, we're there, you know, this is a family to me. This means so much for all of us.
Now, the Eagles have a big test ahead of them. They've never actually won an NCAA tournament game, and they're going to have to beat one of the best teams in the country if they want to get over that hump. Now, the Eagles head down to play UMass Amherst, the host of that regional, and they know they're the dogs in the game, but they're also not rolling over.
We're little old Husson from Bangor, Maine. And, you know, a lot of the teams don't even know the record that we have or don't even know how successful we've been over 2 seasons. And so I said to these guys, you know, we've been waiting for this moment. This is our chance. We don't turn up and let anybody just walk all over us. And so we're going to go down there and give them a real shot.
We're the underdogs, right? We have everything to win. And playing one of the best teams in the nation, in our opinion. We have everything to win. It's going to be such a great challenge, and we're ready for it.
All right, let's stay on the soccer subject here, and we'll stay on the pitch. Saturday was a historic day for another area team. We will go back down to the high school level now, where the Bucksport girls soccer team won their first gold ball in program history. The Bucks took a 2-1 victory over Maranacook, the Southern champs, on Saturday, capping off a perfect 18-0 season to bring home the girls' Class C state championship for the first time ever. After losing to Maranacook last year, they say the win felt pretty good in the redemption game, and being able to grab the gold ball and run it over to the fans at the end is something that they'll never forget.
It was unreal. It was definitely a feeling that I've never experienced before. Being the first one definitely set off emotions that I didn't expect to have. We were definitely all emotional. We all worked really hard for that.
It's kind of an expectation set at the beginning of the year, like our first practice, that this was going to be a team that went back to states and we were going to win it. And so when it happened, I think we were all a little shocked, like, that really just happened. And to be the first, it still hasn't really set in that we are the state champs.
Now, last year, the Bucks won their first ever regional championship, and they turned that into a state title this year. And they say the success of the program over these last few seasons can be credited to 2 things: coaching and chemistry.
I think it has a lot to do with coaching. We have 4 different coaches, and we have different techniques, and with how many girls we have, different ages, and we've worked together for a really long time.
It's we all play together, and I think that's really what makes a difference. I mean, there's 6 or 7 girls that were our middle school team, and it's still the same.
We've been obviously playing soccer together since we were really young, and then now we as a still the same group are achieving all these things together and breaking all these records together and doing amazing, so it's really nice to see.
That is nice to see. That was a great game over on Saturday. And for tonight, Maine women's basketball and Maine men's basketball, they both open their seasons kind of at different ends of the spectrum of the America East. The women reigning regular season champs picked to finish second in the conference. The men, they are picked to be bottom dwellers in the America East. So we will have those highlights later tonight. But for now, that is all the time we have for sports. Here's Jeff Weller with your full 5-day forecast. Jeff?
All right, Tyler, thank you. Your full. There was a mic clip on there. Did you hear that? There was a mic clip on there, I thought. No? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Janet Mills is crushing Maine families. Under her watch, Mainers will face rolling blackouts this winter, putting our most vulnerable, like seniors, at risk. And because of Mills and Joe Biden's failed agenda, Mainers will pay 72% more for home heating oil and $60 more each month for groceries. Mainers can't afford more of the failed Mills agenda. Vote no on Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents. $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class. All because 83% of the time, Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
I'm Jay Pearl from Carroll Harper & Associates, Maine's most experienced Medicare health plans agency. Every day we hear how complicated navigating the Medicare maze can be. Let us help. From enrolling in Medicare to finding the right Medicare health plan, we are your go-to agency. We represent Martins Point Generations Advantage and other Medicare health plans that meet our quality standards. There's no cost or obligation for our services, so call Carroll Harper & Associates today.
In Maine, our independence, hard work, and freedoms mean everything, but not to Paul LePage. He's repeatedly attacked women's reproductive freedom. LePage supported letting states ban abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest, defunded family planning programs, and told extremists we shouldn't have abortion. He's a risk to our health and freedom, and it's why we can't go back to Paul LePage. The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin, he went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here, for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
This week, with so much at stake, the critical midterm election, which party will control the House, which will control the Senate, plus the governor's races. On election night, Americans turn to ABC and the #1 newscast on television, World News Tonight with David
you. Your full weather is brought to you by Varney Chevrolet. Come see what the Varney value is all about. And we are all about this. This is November. Here we are. It's 73 here in Bangor today, 70 for Bar Harbor. A very nice, well above average day today, but that's all changing now. A sneaky cold front came through earlier. The wind has shifted out of the west, or we are in for quite a ride temperature-wise, with lows tonight down in the 30s and highs tomorrow basically only in the 40s. All right, so here we go tonight. Low temperatures, 30s, and tomorrow, not much recovery at all. We're talking highs tomorrow in the low to mid 40s. That's going to feel differently than the near record-breaking temperatures out there today. And then we're in the long haul for this, too. Cool temperatures pretty much all week long. It's going to feel more like November around here, right? Okay, the wind has shifted out of the west. It's got a little gusty, too, sustained at 16 in Millinocket, 18 here in Bangor. We'll have wind gusts tonight near 30 miles per hour. That's going to rattle your windows this evening and blow the leaves around as well. And also make things feel a bit colder with low temperatures upper 30s. That west wind gusting near 30 will make it feel like 20s out there tonight. Visibility is all good this evening. They'll have that wind out there, keeping any fog away. So no fog out there for us tonight. There could be a couple light sprinkles, though. So overall, the air is very dry. The radar is seeing some stuff up in the atmosphere now. This is likely not reaching the ground, but still, there could be a sprinkle around this evening as the secondary front comes through. But overall, the bigger story is going to be the cooler temperatures, as all of this is cooler, drier Canadian air working in for us for tonight. And once it moves in, it's not going to go anywhere quickly. We are in for the long stretch here of cooler temperatures for us. Let's walk you through it. So cooler, drier air tonight, looking like lots of sunshine for us tomorrow. Here's 7:30 or so, looking at sunshine. Don't forget your sunglasses tomorrow. There could be a couple clouds through the afternoon. Overall, not a big deal. And then cool tomorrow night, clear skies as well. And high pressure then building in. You know what that means? The high pressure this time of year is going to be some pretty cool nights around here with low temperatures pretty much in the 20s hanging out into the weekend. Looks like increasing clouds later on Wednesday, but overall, we'll keep things quiet weather-wise until probably Wednesday night or Thursday. Our forecast then tonight, though, is lots of clear skies out there, still a bit breezy. Low temperatures down near 37, but it's going to feel much colder, courtesy of that northwest wind gusting near 30 for tomorrow. All right, so I went with 46 tomorrow. A couple of you could get stuck in the low 40s for highs. Lots of sunshine, though, but still windy with that northwest wind gusting near 30. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows the story, right? 46 for tomorrow, 48 for Wednesday. Okay, we'll take it. A bit warmer Thursday, 58, 59 for Friday, followed by 60s back in the forecast this weekend with some rain showers on Saturday. Beth and Peter.
Alrighty, Jeff, thank you. Meanwhile, the Red Cross is sharing some important reminders as flu season gets underway. Leaders from the Northern New England American Red Cross are encouraging people to go out and get their flu vaccinations, which they say helps increase donor eligibility. When seasonal illnesses ramp up, the number of healthy blood donors decreases.
We're encouraging folks to come out when they're feeling well, when they're feeling healthy. There's no wait. If you've had your flu vaccine, as long as you're feeling healthy and well, you can come out and give blood.
Those interested in donating blood can find a location in their area by visiting redcross.org.
And finally tonight, a group of friends with a shop in Manchester is shining a light on just how cool refurbishing rundown camps and cabins in Maine can be. Our Jody Hersey spoke with the stars of the show Maine Cabin Masters to learn more about their passion for saving these well-loved family camps.
It's really surreal, to be honest with you. It still doesn't feel real.
Ryan Eldridge, Chase and Ashley Morrill, and their friends Dixie and Jedi are the stars of the reality TV show Maine Cabin Masters. So far, over 100 episodes of the crew fixing up camps and cabins in Maine have been filmed. The show's stars, who all grew up around the Augusta area, say what you see on air is exactly how they are in their day-to-day lives.
They're filming us doing what we'd be doing with or without a film crew. So, you know, we're constantly learning, we're constantly bouncing ideas off from each other on the job sites.
Brother and sister Chase and Ashley Morrill say they were raised in a family whose focus was to reuse, recycle, and refurbish as often as possible.
That's always kind of been the main way. It's, you know, Yankee frugality. You know, if it still has life left to it, it doesn't necessarily be for its original intention, you know, find a way to make it work.
The Maine Cabin Masters try to avoid ever building new. Instead, they aim to show viewers how to maximize what their family cabins already have to offer.
These cabins have been in these families forever, and they don't want them changed that much, to be honest. So what we like to do is go in and, just get the rot, fix it up, and make it so that they can enjoy it for another 50 years.
The Maine Cabin Masters say they still enjoy working with one another all these years later, while also showing viewers some of the best parts of our state.
My favorite things about doing the show is showcasing all the great artists and craftsmen in the state of Maine. A lot of times we can use their art either in the camps, or we actually have a retail store as well where we sell local Maine art.
In Manchester, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC7 and Fox 22.
And there are so many great craftsmen and creators in the state of Maine. It seems like the perfect show for the state of Maine, and all those other pieces of artwork and furniture or what have you just add to it all the more.
Yeah, I like what you said about how they're not looking to make major changes to these cabins that are so beloved by these families too.
Right.
They just want to make them so that they can enjoy them for years to come.
Make them functional, make them work.
Yep. Very, very cool stuff.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that is going to do it for us from everyone here at ABC 7 News. Take care and have a great rest of your night.
Good night, everyone.